Everybody, how's it going? So with Spider-Man Far From Home's new trailer coming out, we have a breakdown for you guys today. So starting off in the trailer, we get a really cool shot of Spider-Man in the Iron Spider gear. Now it's unknown why he's wearing this now, because it seems a little above and beyond what you would need for your common street crime, but he's looking at a picture of Iron Man, a painting of Iron Man, a mural of Iron Man against a, building side, and it's really inspirational for him, and it looks like he's kind of just really reflecting on what he's seeing here, because obviously Iron Man is now dead in the MCU, so his legacy, his impact is going to be, strongly felt to everyone that interacted with him for at least one movie, which definitely the character Spider-Man would fit into, since they had a mentor-mentee thing going on there between the two of them. And at the next kind of part, we get to see Happy Hogan talking to Peter, and Peter in the scene, it looks like he was crying. It looks like Happy's trying to, reassure him, put the confidence in him that Peter's having a lack of at the moment, but also say, Tony wouldn't have left you with what he'd left with. He wouldn't have done what he had done if he didn't believe in you, if he didn't think that you were still the right person, or you were, amongst other heroes, the right people to continue on and lead this next generation post the events of Endgame. And it's a really touching moment. I think it's going to be in the film with Happy and Peter. Happy is obviously also dating Aunt May, so he has some ulterior motives to keep, Peter's kind of morale up. And in the next part here, we get to see kind of Peter cracking some jokes after beating some bad guys. And he's chatting with the NYPD, and they're like, "Are you the new Iron Man?" because of the Iron Spider suit. And he's like, "I don't really have time for that because," and I thought he was going to say because I have homework or something, but he says, "because I'm doing your guys' job too," kind of poking a little jab at them. Some Spider-Man comedy and stuff like that, and I think it's cool because we've seen Spider-Man be rather neutral with the cops. Like in the Raimi films, they were more supportive of him later, but early on it kind of seemed like they were more neutral on the guy. And then in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, early on, it seemed like they were definitely more negative on Spider-Man. So it's nice to see that just we're kind of skipping all that BS and we're getting straight into they get along with each other, they're all supporting each other, all those good things. Next, we get to see Spider-Man swinging in his red and blue suit, which is kind of nice. Not sure when this takes place in the movie, but it's still nice to see regardless. And in the background, it looks like the Stark Tower, Avengers Tower, is being built around, or I guess remodeled, whatever terminology you want to use. We don't really know what this building is going to be. I think because this is a Spider-Man franchise, it should be a character relating to that. So Oscorp being the new Oscorp building definitely, I think, fits. However, will it be that? We don't know, but it'll definitely be really cool to see when they eventually, finish building the building and to get to that. So hopefully at the end of this movie, early parts of maybe Spider-Man 3, they'll finally address who bought the building and what the building is now called. Hopefully Oscorp. Now, the next part here, we get an unknown call to Peter. Happy thinks it's Nick Fury, so Peter ignores it. His face kind of gives it away. He's kind of like in a I don't really care mode right now, because he just wants to go on vacation, do high school stuff, hit on the girl he likes, get his first kiss, maybe, we don't know. But the least of his concerns right now, it seems, while he's wearing the Iron Spider armor, is being a hero. He's still a high school teenager, so I think a lot of characters forget that. And we get some nice shots afterwards of Peter on his European vacation, on his European field trip with his fellow students. And there's a rumor going on that some of these students are actually not students and they're actually SHIELD agents placed by Nick Fury to keep an eye on Peter. But we get some nice shots of also like Michelle and stuff like that, and Peter and Michelle presumably building their relationship up, and where that goes we don't know, but it's been strongly hinted at through the previous trailers and stuff that they're going to eventually start dating, and that will be for all the fans out there that are very upset about it. I'm sorry, but it looks like Michelle will be Peter's MJ for the Spider-Man universe. Now, after that, we get to see Peter in the red and blue suit again with Nick Fury going to their subterranean lair where he meets Mysterio. And this is a pretty cool moment because it's also revealed that this Mysterio is from a different Earth. Now, if this Mysterio is actually from a different universe or not remains to be seen, but it's definitely cool that we're kind of unlocking more of the multiverse door with the MCU, because I can see eventually the MCU becoming more of an anthology type of movie franchise, which different movies take place in different universes. I could definitely see that, so it looks like they're kind of slowly but surely opening that door little by little. Either that or Sony is so desperate for more multiverse stuff, they're going to give us a live action version of Into the Spider-Verse. Now, going on past that, we get to see Kobe Smulders, aka Maria Hill, looking kind of fresh there, and we get to see Nick Fury, who talks about the fact that Captain Marvel is really unavailable right now, Thor is off planet, so they can't reach him right now. So Spider-Man, especially since he's now been to space during the events of Infinity War and Endgame, he's more than just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man now. He is considered, as far as Nick Fury considers it, an Avenger and a hero. And that's what Nick Fury wants right now. Now at a minute 37, we get to see Hydro Man in all of his glory, looking kind of fresh, and obviously Mysterio does appear during this moment to fight Hydro Man, and also we get to see Molten Man, which is kind of interesting, and he appears in front of Michelle actually in the trailer, and we get to see that in this battle moment, Spider-Man's in his stealth suit, which I love the suit in motion. It looks really cool with the white eyes really contrasting off of the primarily dark gray black suit. However, what bothers me is that for a stealth suit, they leave his fingertips open, which may be because he needs that to stick to walls, but it just looks kind of weird for a stealth suit considering fingerprints. Moving on past that, we get a nice shot again of Mysterio fighting Hydro Man, and then Mysterio throwing out with Spidey at a bar. This is a really cool moment that I'm really happy we're getting. Spider-Man drinking his OJ with the bendy straw while Mysterio presumably has a beer. I think scenes like this are pretty cool because it'll be used later on to really build up the tragedy of them having to fight each other as a hero and a villain, and I definitely think it's really cool having Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, kind of be the bro to Spider-Man, a big bro to Spider-Man, considering Vulture obviously was not like that at all. It's gonna be cool to see this one because Peter, I feel like in this movie, will be very, not desperate, but he's gonna be very vulnerable to having new mentorship, whether it's from Nick Fury, whether it's from Happy, whether it's from Mysterio. So I'm happy they're giving that to us, and hopefully Peter throughout this movie will realize that I don't have to listen to what everyone's telling me. I can be my own man, I can be my own person, and maybe from there he'll kind of, by the time we get to Spider-Man 3 and he graduates high school, presumably all those things, hopefully we'll get a more seasoned, more mature Spider-Man that's more sure of himself versus a Spider-Man that needs everyone to hold his hand every once in a while, even though in all fairness he's still a high schooler in this movie universe, so a lot of things he's unsure about, he hasn't seen yet, he hasn't experienced. And speaking of things he hasn't experienced yet, it looks like he's on a date with Michelle at a minute 54, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool because I like how Michelle's character is very straight to the chase in this scene. She kind of just cuts through all the BS and is like, it's very obvious you're Spider-Man. She's just there connecting dots, how last movie we were in DC, you were in DC, Spider-Man's in DC. We're in various places in Europe, you're there too, Spider-Man's there. It all kind of makes sense, along with the fact that I guess it's kind of common knowledge to a certain extent that he has some sort of Stark mentorship program type of thing, and obviously Tony Stark is Iron Man, so it wouldn't be too far-fetched to really connect the dots there. And after that, we get a really cool shot of the Elemental seemingly merged. So what I mean by that is it looks like the Elemental with characteristics of the Hydro Man one, the Molten Man one, and the Sandman Elemental all infused together. So I don't know if this means that whatever Mysterio is using to kind of create these elementals, I don't know if that went haywire, but later in the trailer, after a really great shot of him, we do get to see Mysterio fighting this kind of merged elemental. So I don't really think he created this merged elemental as much as maybe his device that creates them goes haywire, and then he has to try fighting them. And that's really where it gets exposed that he's not as powerful as he thinks he is, because without his sway over the elementals, he probably can't do much to them. So it's going to be really curious to see how Spider-Man is able to take on and presumably defeat these elementals. And then at the next shot here, I have at 2 minutes 21 seconds, one thing that really interests me is this energy surge around Mysterio, because what I think is that he's not from a different Earth, but that he's using energy from different Earths. Kind of like a pseudo crappy version of Doctor Strange, if you will, because Doctor Strange's energy for his magic is from different dimensions. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Mysterio is using technology, bootleg technology, whether it's from Chitauri, whether it's his own invention, but he's using this technology to take energy from different dimensions to give the illusion that he's some sort of Iron Man meets Doctor Strange like figure. And because the energy is being taken from different dimensions, that's why he's saying, oh, I'm from a different Earth too, all that good stuff. Because he can kind of like Booster Gold when he went to the past, he can kind of remake himself to be whoever he wants to be with his advanced technology to support a narrative that's untrue. And eventually that narrative will be proven, of course, and how it's proven and what happens after will be what I'm most excited for with this movie. Now at 2 minutes 26 seconds, we get to see Spidey in the stealth suit again, running for his life against Multiman, which looks kind of demented there. And then at the next part, during one of the attacks, we see Happy trying to evacuate the kids. His jet gets destroyed, so he's like, new plan, and everyone kind of scurries off. And that's really it for the trailer breakdown today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are excited for this movie. I'm kind of wishing they could have pushed the movie back just a little bit more, because it just seems like between Captain Marvel, Endgame, and now Spider-Man Far From Home, we're just getting a lot of Marvel back to back to back. And it's not that I don't appreciate Marvel giving us these movies back to back to back, but it makes it a little bit harder to digest the movies when they come so close to each other. Almost it feels like a month apart to a huge point. But comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think? And we'll see you guys later.